I mean, it's Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points. I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get this sauce.
Because when I had it, it was 90.5.
What did it land on, 88?
88, and it went down almost 2 points.
Right.
And, yeah, but it's whatever. I've been doing well. How about them Indiana Hoosiers, though, huh?
How about, well, actually, there's a couple teams I want to give a shout out to.
There's a couple. Let's get into it.
Only loss of the night was the Hoosiers.
You had a good one, Spoon?
Don't worry, I've already been on to TV Jones' show.
4-1 with
yeah, I think I had a good night.
Can we get a little respect to the state of Rhode Island, please? No one in the world gave this team a chance. Oh my God, Dayton at home, yada yada yada, outright.
In overtime.
Already went on TV Jones.
Nice job, Archie. Nice job.
Tonight would have been probably my best basketball night of the year if George Washington won that game outright. I had a plus 561.
What happened to that stream? It completely went down. I checked my mobile stream. I checked like my TV stream. I couldn't get it to come up on ESPN Plus at all with like 3 minutes left in the GW game.
Mine, I watched the entire end of the game.
Yeah, mine was fine.
Yeah.
I talked to a few other people. The same thing happened.
I saw Kareem. What do you say? What's his name? What does ever call him?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, break all of our heart. Well, at least
but I think the team, because I had George Washington money line and the plus the point, so that was a break even. The big win for me tonight was Marquette. Man, I don't even know why I liked it so much, but when it was Spoon that said it last night in the Discord, he said something about how Marquette's built to play better in the second half of the year, and I liked that. And then Toast was talking about how Marquette played better in their home games, and I looked. I don't know. I loved Marquette. So, yeah, Marquette came through for me. It was a good night. Shout out the 76ers, too. Won my only NBA bet. Yeah, Spoon.
Miami of Ohio walks a tightrope, gets out of another one. The horseshoe lives on.
The horseshoe lives.
I snagged the plus 160 money line in that. I was pretty excited.
Yeah. There was three games.
There's no way they don't come back.
It was the Rutgers game, Kansas State, and Rhode Island. Those three I ended up not betting and kind of forgot about it, and all three of them cashed. It's a very irritating day. Very irritating day.
I personally
Vanderbilt definitely gave Kentucky problems. That team has issues with pace, and it's going to show up again because they're going to play Arkansas next, which is another top 25 team in pace, and that's Calipari versus Kentucky. I think we go right there to Arkansas in that next game.
I think you have to see who's playing for Kentucky first.
Is TV Jones not joining us?
No.
Oh, damn. I didn't know.
He did text the group.
All right. Well, let's switch this over to 3 people then. Yeah, we got a bunch of games to get through. 1 second. Let me get the screen prepared for 3 people.
I think Elliot had to work tonight, so it's just him and Huffer.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Hold on. We're way too high on the screen here. All right. 3 people. We got a lot of good games to get through.
Can I say one more thing? Congratulations, World, on Arkansas. Go buy a lotto ticket. Go ahead.
Alabama A&M absolutely free, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe you lost your Oklahoma bet. They were winning that entire game.
Oh, dog. Just one of those days, though. It's all good. I mean, I'm going to be down like a unit. Oh, never mind. UNLV's getting fucking blown out. So I'll be down like 2 units today. Whatever.
All right. So we got a lot of games to get through. Let's go ahead and start with the banger. I got to say, this feels a little bit long, 4.5. I know Cincinnati's playing well, and I know they just had a really nice... Who'd they beat? Arizona State in their last one?
Nope, they lost to them. They beat Iowa State a while ago. Well, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Don't you think 4.5 is a little bit extra for Baylor? I know Baylor's not that strong this year, but come
on. This one is really hard for me. It would only be Baylor for me. Offensively, I think that Baylor is very, very good, and nobody talks about it. It's defensively that's bad, but for whatever reason, they just can't figure it out. So, but at the same time, Cincinnati just simply can't score the basketball. So to ask them to win by margin, I'm well aware that they've done it so far this year, but to ask them to win by margin, especially in the middle of Big 12 play, is just a little bit too much for me. It would only be Baylor here for me. Again, their offense has been getting a little bit of love today in some of the podcasts and stuff, or over this week, over the podcast and stuff like that. And yes, I do agree with that. But defensively, it's still a lot of issues, and I just don't know how well they play as a team personally. So it would only be Baylor for me. I don't know if I can actually move on it, but I do agree. Oh, the 4.5s are gone. Damn. Yeah, it's just a pass.
Well, it just seems a little ridiculous and a little bit of recency bias here. Baylor's numbers look pretty shitty in their last 5 games. They're terrible defensive rating. They look bad. Their last 5 games are against TCU, Texas Tech, Kansas in the Fog, and Houston, and then a road game at Stillwater against Oklahoma State. Seems like they've played a much tougher schedule than Cincinnati has recently.
Also, to whoever in the comments that said I'm delusional and Arkansas outplayed them, did you watch the game?
Yeah,
or no?
You did not watch. I watched the whole game. Oklahoma was the better team for the entire game. Spoon?
I think we need to ask what Baylor's best win at this point in the season is. A win versus Washington, San Diego State,
Oof. Ouch.
Oklahoma State.
And keep in mind, Washington was on November 9th.
So Baylor needs this win here on the road at Cincinnati like they need air. So I think Baylor with the points is a really good spot. This is a great coach in Scott Drew, but I don't really know what I think of this roster at this point. I had higher expectations than a 1-6 start, so it's kind of the definition of a buy low, but this building has proven to be really tough in conference play so far. That Iowa State win was very impressive by 9 points. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see Cincinnati play a great game and cover this and Baylor just not show up again. I'm not going to be involved.
How good do we really think Iowa State is, though?
Very, very good.
I don't know about that. I'm putting Baylor.
I would be hard pressed to make an Elite Eight without Iowa State.
Yeah,
I don't know. I picked Kansas money line against them in the Fog pretty confidently. You all called me an idiot, and I tap danced my way to a winner there.
I feel yeah, exactly. Congratulations. I do feel like Baylor is a little bit like Marquette was today. Obviously, Marquette was a small favorite and at home, but I do feel like that we haven't seen the best version of Baylor. But to Spoon's point, what's their best win? I mean, obviously they have a lot of easy or hard losses, but yeah, 4.5. I probably would have been there with you, but whatever.
Butler, St. John's.
Here we go, baby.
Well, Toast, that's a hell of an intro there. So are you laying the big number? Butler's kind of good, I feel like.
No, Butler plus 12.5. And if you're feeling a little frisky, boys, Butler on the money line plus 650 here.
Don't get crazy.
St. John's has been playing very good basketball. No question about that. But a lot of those games, the really impressive games, were all on the road. I don't think that Seton Hall is a good basketball team. I do not think Marquette's a good basketball team. They lost to Providence. Harvard's not a good basketball team. I can keep going on. At home, St. John's is one of the worst teams in the country as far as covering numbers and whatnot. And on the road, they've been absolutely fantastic. I think this is a really good spot for Butler. I haven't pulled the number on it because I do think this number might climb. I want to continue to see. I don't know, maybe 12.5 might be the cap, but I do think that Butler can keep this game alive. I think that they're offensively, they're just as good as St. John's. I know that St. John's is obviously going to be analytically a little bit better, but I do think that offensively, they're very, very similar to St. John's. I don't think that there's any advantage there either way. It's what defense that is St. John's going to produce. Is St. John's going to produce the lockdown defense that's a top 15, call it top 20 defense in the country, or is it going to be the lackadaisical defense that we've seen at home at sometimes this year? I don't really know. But at the same time, there's no way in hell I'm laying 12.5. Trevor's going to be on the money line as well for what that's worth. I'm going to be on Butler. I don't know what the number is, but I just don't really like St. John's at home. And at this point, I feel like their market value is at I always say, an all-time high or all-season high. I like to say all-time. But regardless, I really like Butler tomorrow, plus the points.
Like, I'm intrigued. Spoon, do you agree with that?
I'm not trying to get in front of St. John's at this point. I think they're starting to lock in this point in the season. I think they have their eyes set on the Big East Conference tournament, Big East Conference regular season title as well. Maybe this number is slightly too big, but St. John's coming off a win where they easily could have lost that game. It was Rick Pitino's 900th win. It came versus his son. Pretty emotional spot there. Had a few days rest, get to go back home. Toast mentioned he doesn't trust this team at home at this point in the season. I think they'll figure out how to play in this building, and I think 12.5 is a number they can definitely cover. I'm not going to get involved with the game, though.
Nah, I'll put up Butler, bro.
And keep in mind, St. John's plays at Madison Square Garden, so it's just, yeah.
I'm good on this one.
I'm betting Butler for sure. I just don't know what the number is.
I was just peeking at St. John's Big East futures. I can't get it to populate in my odds checker, though.
This is one that
Interesting.
This is one that I added. We could skip it if you guys want. Cal, Florida State.
It's a skip for me. I missed it would be over or pass. You guys know what I say about Florida State. They give up 100 or score 100 themselves. One of the two is going to happen. I think it started at 152-ish, I want to say, when I remember looking at it, and it's all the way up to 156. And I think that Cal is a better team. Them getting 3 on the road, even though it's on the road on the East Coast, is still a little fishy to me. Yeah, it would only be the over or Cal, but I think I missed the numbers on both, so it's a pass.
Spoon?
I agree that the number is a little bit fishy. I like the 3.5 that you can get with Cal right now. They're the better team. Yes, it's on the road, but this Florida State team, I really don't think they should be laying points to any Power 4 team in the country right now. And Cal's on that list. They've had some tough losses this year, but they have some good wins too. They just were at Stanford on the road. It's still a West Coast environment. Beat North Carolina at home. So I think this is a step down in caliber from their last couple of opponents. I think they can find a way, even with a sleepy start, to come back and get this win. I don't know what to make of this number, though. Like, I would have had this up pick 'em even on the road right now. So still trying to look into injury information. I haven't moved on this.
I think it's the fact that it's Cal's like 4th road game of the year, maybe 5 or something like that, and it's just really hard to price them on the road efficiently. Because I looked at this game for like 15 minutes because I really wanted to bet Cal on the money line, but I felt like I was missing something, so I might join you there actually.
All right, nothing there. Let's move on. Davidson, George Mason. This is another one I added. Any thoughts on this A10 game, or are we skipping?
Man, Davidson off of a loss. I mean, I don't know. Spoon probably has a better feeling for this game. It would only be Davidson for me. I think they've been playing really well, and the teams that they have lost to are just as good, if not better. Well, maybe not better, but almost as good as George Mason, excuse me. But again, it's a lean at best.
Yeah, I think at this number it has to be Davidson. I like George Mason much better as a team. Davidson coming off a tough loss versus VCU. No shame in that. Now they go to play George Mason back-to-back, 2 of the toughest teams in the conference. They showed a lot of heart in that game versus VCU. I think they can do the same versus George Mason. The only thing I really don't like about this is Mason is also coming off a loss on the road to Rhode Island. So maybe this is a spot where they get right, but I think 8's too big. There were 6.5s available earlier, so this line has started to balloon a little bit. If it continues to climb, I probably will click the Davidson button.
They don't. They don't show the records on the screen, but George Mason's 18-2 for those who didn't know. I mean, they've played a shit schedule, but they've been winning a lot of games. For if you didn't know, I just wanted to point that out.
So they're 18-2.
Yeah, they're a good basketball team. I was giving them shit yesterday with Rhode Island and stuff, but they're a pretty decent basketball team.
Davidson won their last 2 road games. They lost the home game to VCU. So George, it's
Davidson's losses are awesome though. Like Utah State, St. Mary's, Kansas on the road. VCU, Rhode Island, who keeps getting big wins. That's looking more impressive by the day.
So this number's too big.
Well, so like I said, there were 6.5s available 3 hours ago.
It's getting steamed.
So this is continuing to climb. I don't know when it stops, but even at 8, I think it's a good number. But I'm worried about getting in front of the Masons team. This George Mason team played really good defense last year and struggled offensively. They have taken major steps forward offensively this year and kind of steps backwards defensively. As the season goes on, Skin's going to get his defensive schemes worked out better, and that team's probably going to find ways to separate more than they were able to earlier. So it kind of like what we were talking about with Marquette yesterday, this Mason team, I do expect to continue to play better as the season goes on. I don't know that I want to get in front of them, but if the number continues to climb, like it's already 2 points off of where you could have gotten it earlier. Like that seems a little bit ridiculous.
I'm looking though, and there was one 6.5, and it wasn't by anybody I would care about. Plus 9.5 on Kalshi. It's minus 143 though. But I'm betting this. This number's too big.
I agree.
Sorry to hold the show up. Let me just get this in real quick. Come on.
Toast has favorite phobia. That's my favorite comment so far today.
What does that mean? Oh, you don't best favorites?
Mm-hmm.
Are the allegations true?
Depends on the day.
I'm on Davidson. Plus 8.
A lot of people think I only play dogs. I don't know. It's not true.
All right. Next game.
I laid it with Michigan today. How'd that work?
Mississippi State.
I'm glad I didn't.
LSU. Didn't you pick Nebraska on the show?
Yeah, but then as soon as I woke up this morning, I got a text that Mass was going to be out, and so I was like, "Fuck, I got to take this number at 10.5 before it moves to 13." And obviously, it did, and I still lost. Whatever.
All right, Mississippi State, LSU. This is another one I added. Mississippi State looks terrible, but LSU laying 8 is nuts.
Yeah, I really want to take Mississippi State here. I 100% agree
so
that
bad.
They look bad, and it's yeah. I just can't lay it with LSU. So obviously you added this game. It would only be Mississippi State for me. They've played one of the toughest schedules in the country. That's kind of my thing. But regardless, even those losses, like Sauce has talked about vaguely, they haven't looked good in those losses. So it's not like you can be like, oh, they looked good against Kentucky, and then they kind of, you know what I mean? It's not. I mean, they kind of looked good against Mississippi. They still ended up losing that game. Everything else is double digits. It's just really hard to back Mississippi State right here. But again, LSU shouldn't be laying 8 to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think I lost 2 bets in a row at Mississippi State, and both times they just got ran out of the gym. Now, granted, they played Texas A&M and Vanderbilt, but yeah, still, I can't go back to that. Wow, this is down to 6.5 now.
Still, I don't care.
Spoon, any thoughts on this one? I edited it on you guys.
No big thoughts. At 8, probably Mississippi State. 6.5, that number is probably more accurate. LSU is not a good basketball team. They only have 1 conference win themselves. So Mississippi State has 2 conference wins. They went on the road, beat Texas, have a home win versus Oklahoma. Maybe there's some recency bias built into this, and Mississippi State's a little bit better than what we've seen the last 5 games.
All right. Northern. Oh, this is the game that you liked the other day, and it got postponed, right, Spoon?
Actually, so it was a different team SIU was playing.
Right.
They traveled all the way there. They canceled the game after the team had already traveled there. They stayed for the next day for another postponement, and then they left without playing the game.
Unbelievable.
But the best piece of information I took from that, Kelron House is going to be available in this game. He was a game time decision in that last game that we were talking about there Sunday. And he's one of their best players. He's missed the last couple of games with injury. I think he's going to be a huge factor coming back. He's been able to practice now 4 practices in a row, and I think this is a big spot to be able to get him back. Northern Iowa has struggled for a big part of this season. They have a win now. Maybe they start to turn things around, but I just think this number's short. I think Southern Indiana should be laying a few points here. So Steluki's up.
Where do you think this closes?
Southern Illinois. I got 1.5. I think this probably closes 2.5 to 3.5.
Toes, any thoughts?
Nothing. Sorry.
I can still get a -115, 1.5. Nah.
Sports scientist Jacob and his cronies like that side too.
Oh yeah, sports scientist Jacob is there.
It'll be always forever his cronies now that you said that.
I don't know. I didn't even know if he had cronies in the chat. I just said that. He sent me. Sports scientist Jacob sent me one he really likes. We'll get to it. All right.
I wonder if I like it too.
It's on our list, and it's not like a blue blood game.
Ooh.
How about some Horizon League basketball? Oakland.
Let's do it. We both checked this game
against the.
I'm on Oakland.
The
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows I'm on Oakland. That's my team. Spoon, are you with me?
I am with you. What do you think of this number? Is this number just really weird, or is it just soft opener because IPFW's just rallied off a bunch of conference wins?
I was just going to say, I think it's weird too. I was expecting to lay 2.5 or, I had this at 3, anything under 3 I was going to take. I do think that it's probably because, what have they won? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're 10-2 their last 12. One thing is, besides Notre Dame, and let me double check really quick. I'm pretty sure he wasn't there. Still, Notre Dame was still with no Marcus Burton. So they did beat Notre Dame, but Notre Dame is just in an absolute free fall right now. But for a Purdue Fort Wayne team, that's a really good win. But besides that, this is a significant step up in class facing this Oakland team. I don't really care if it's at home and on the road, because like we've talked about ad nauseum on this show, Oakland has been tested on the road, but in the hardest spots in the country: Michigan, Purdue, Houston, UCF, Eastern Michigan, Northern Iowa, Wright State, among others as well, especially in conference play. But I just named the big boys, so I don't worry about them going on the road to Purdue Fort Wayne. So I 100% agree with Spoon. I think we're getting a good number here because of how well Purdue Fort Wayne has played, but I think that Oakland is a significantly better team, and it's not even close. I've already bet Oakland -120 on the money line.
Well, I don't understand what's going on here, because this is practically a pick. I can get a -1 right now.
On Caesars, yep.
We're pulling 86%, 7%.
I know. I get it. I don't care.
So
the numbers suspiciously
I'm
low?
in the same situation where it seems really fishy. I already pulled the trigger on the -1, -110. I think Oakland is the better team. Ken Palm makes this number 4. Oakland already played Purdue Fort Wayne earlier this season, beat them 101-92. In that game, Purdue Fort Wayne shot over 40% from the 3-point line. That was on the road in Oakland. Maybe they find a way to shoot well again, but this is a really good Oakland team at this point in the season. I think something's fishy about this line. I've looked into it. I can't find anybody that's hurt or anything like that. You have 3 of the best players in the conference playing in this game. Corey Hadnot for Purdue Fort Wayne, and Garrett and Robinson for Oakland. So, if one of those players has an illness that's just popped up 3 or 4 days in a row now, where decent players have gone out kind of late, that could move a line. But outside of that, I just don't get it. I think this line closes well. I'm taking Oakland -1. There's nothing in the minutes of the recent games that indicate any injuries to key players. So I'm going to take the team with the better players, better coach. I like this at -1. I get it's on the road. I think there's a lot of value baked into betting road teams.
I don't like it. I'm good. You guys, best of luck to you. I hope you win.
Thank you.
How about some SEC ball?
Let's do it.
Texas +6.5 in the jungle.
Horns up, boys. +6.5 and on the money line.
Wait, when's the last time you faded Auburn in the jungle?
I know it's wild, but I'm starting to fall in love with this Texas team, and I think they're a lot better than people want to give them credit for. And I know that there have been mediocre at best so far in conference play, but at the same time, we've talked about it a few different times. I think the Mississippi State game, the three of those games that they lost, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, and Kentucky, not necessarily coin flip games, but if they win one or two of those games, obviously we're having a lot different conversation here. But what gets me is that you have I love betting Auburn at times, but I also think that they're getting a little overvalued. They have a lot of nice losses. There's no question about that. You can't say anything about their schedule. It's been absolutely awesome. But at the same time, when they have stepped up in competition, everything besides the Florida game, which, by the way, shot quality graded as a loss.
Relax. I had Auburn money line.
I had Auburn plus 12.5, but I just wanted to give that out for context because I'm going to use shot quality for Texas here in a second. All these other ones are steps up in competition. They haven't looked good. I guess the Arkansas game was actually pretty good for them, but that was a game where Auburn shot 45% from deep. They shot 64% from the field. If they do that tomorrow, so be it. But I think that we're getting a really, really buy low spot on this Texas team who I know, again, like I said, has been mediocre in conference play, but a loss to Kentucky, shot quality graded that a win. A loss to Texas A&M, shot quality graded that a win. I think this team is a little bit undervalued right now. And I think like I said, I think if a couple of those losses went the other way, I think this number would be 4.5 or something like that. I think Texas wins outright tomorrow. I think they put a little bit of a fear into this Auburn team that's given a little bit too high on themselves, I think, right now. I love Texas tomorrow.
You think this number comes down?
Yes.
It looks like on Pinnacle, they opened up at a plus 6.5, minus 108. It's up to a minus 115. So it looks like a little bit of Texas money has come in. Not much.
Yeah, I have Texas plus 6.5 and 245 on the money line.
You have a money line?
Yeah.
It is intriguing. Spoon, are you also intrigued?
Not really. So I think Texas has had the ability to get comfortable playing really fast-paced teams here with Alabama, Vanderbilt, A&M, Kentucky, Georgia, 5 of the most fast-paced teams in the country. The last time they saw a slower-paced team with good defense that values possessions in Tennessee, they lost that game. Mississippi State at home, they lost that game, another slower tempo team with a good defense. I have a lot of question marks about this team. I guess I'm one of those people that doesn't think Texas is as good as Toast thinks they are, but this is Auburn for me. I'm not trying to fade this team in this building. It's also not a line I've moved on or anything. I don't feel that strongly about it, but I would be very shocked to see Texas win tomorrow.
I'll put Texas up, but I'm good.
Auburn has like one impressive home win this year. That's it.
Man, you're usually the one trying to sell us this bullshit, this Auburn at home shit.
I know.
I'm just don't value road wins then?
Do they not count?
I'm just saying that Auburn at home, I'm not really worried about it.
I like how it's coming off like the huge upset and then coming back home. I feel like they're immediately overvalued. Like 6.5. Texas has been pretty good. Should be 4.5.
I think Texas is very underrated right now.
I think
Texas has a loss. Also has a couple of pretty good losses as well.
I'd be on Texas with you if my guy. What's my guy's name?
Rodney Terry.
Rodney Terry. If he was still there, dude, this would be money line.
Oh yeah, it'd be free. No question. We wouldn't be getting 6.5.
I wouldn't even turn the game on. I would just start. I would already spend the money.
It'd be like plus 2.5 though. So still free, but still.
Let's talk Big Ten. And we're heading out to, is it Des Moines, right? That's where this place is.
The last time I tried to pronounce a name, everybody made fun of me.
I'm pretty sure it's Des Moines. I always just say Kinnick for the football team because I know that's the name of the stadium. But I'm pretty sure Des Moines is where this is actually located. Spoon lives somewhere out there. Spoon, tell us about this game, the USC Iowa.
And how are the hotels in Des Moines?
How are the hotels?
I think the Des Moines hotel situation is actually pretty decent. It's kind of a little bit of a hub in Iowa because there's a lot of cornfields and there's not as many cornfields when you get to Des Moines. You got a little bit of stuff. But Iowa's actually in Iowa City. I just pulled up there.
Oh, is it? Why did I think it was
Yeah.
Des Moines? Is that no? Iowa State's in Ames. I don't know why I thought it was Des Moines.
I don't know much about Iowa City. Ben McCollum, pretty good head coach. He came over from Drake last year. I like this team. I think at home versus USC, they should be able to take care of business. USC just came off a really big win versus Wisconsin. They're already on the road. They're comfortable. Maybe they can find a little magic, make it happen again. But like you were talking about in that last game, after a big win, you generally get a little overvalued. So I like Iowa, but 10's just too big for me. I don't really feel like the Wisconsin number moved it very much. Ken Pom makes this number 76-67. So probably some respect to Iowa still.
I feel like this number's suspiciously large.
No, it's not suspicious. But
What do you,
it's big. It's not
USC
suspicious.
just beat Wisconsin outright. I just watched
Wisconsin is
Rutgers.
significantly worse than Iowa.
I just watched
no.
Rutgers go into Des Moines or whatever the hell the city is, go into Des Moines and smack these people around. Rutgers almost beat them.
Yeah.
Why do you think this team is so good? Honestly, I don't think they're that good.
I'm betting USC. You said it's suspicious, and I said it's not
Well,
suspicious.
usually you're
That's
trying to gas up Iowa, so I thought you would have.
No, I try to gas up Iowa State for one, and I mean, I do think that Iowa's really good too. I just think that this is way too many points for an Iowa team that I do really like this team, but asking them to win by margin is another question because again of how they play. They like to play really slow. On top of that, I don't think that USC is as bad as everybody makes them out to be, or a lot of us make them out to be. Maybe it's a little West Coast bias in me, but yes, did they get a little bit lucky versus Seton Hall or whatever, like Trevor likes to talk about? Yeah, but they still won that game. And I don't think one call decides a game like that. I mean, do they have a weird loss against Washington and probably a bad loss against Northwestern? But keep in mind, I mean, the Northwestern loss, I mean, bad things happen, but you're going to grade them down for on the road at Michigan, on the road at Michigan State, and then losing to Purdue. I mean, obviously the Purdue win doesn't look as great now that they've lost 3 in a row. Shout out Hoosiers, but I don't see where like USC is like this some terrible basketball team. Yes, they didn't look good on their first East Coast road trip, but this is one of the most experienced teams in the country. I think they match up pretty well. I only think they're going to get better. I just want to see what this number does, but the chances of me betting USC tomorrow is extremely high.
So Iowa has shown the ability to lay this number versus a West Coast team that analytics have is better than USC and UCLA. 74-61 win at home. I don't think it'd be shocking at all.
Is that the one?
I mean, are you going to say that USC is better than UCLA? You've sat here and beginning of the season told me how great UCLA was over and over again.
As far as the sports spread, I don't think they're more than maybe a point difference.
Okay. I just think that's the only like perfect West Coast team traveling to the middle of the country that you could find on their schedule. But if you don't want to use that one example that perfectly
I'm
fits
just saying everything else. I mean, every other win that they have at home or on the road. I mean, it's either versus really bad competition or they're not winning by margin. So
yeah,
I guess Xavier.
I'm not putting USC up, but yeah, I don't know. That number seems pretty confident up there. All right, Xavier, Seton Hall, Toast. You're not going to like it. I think you lay it here.
With Seton Hall?
Yeah.
You're damn right. I don't like it. I'm not in a position where I'm gonna fight you over it because I don't think I can play Xavier. But me laying multiple possessions with St. Hall just isn't going to happen. Not in this economy. There's no chance in hell. So it would only be Xavier for me. But yeah, that's about all I got.
Spoon, what do you think of the idea that Xavier is going to really, really struggle to score points in this game?
I don't agree with it.
Sauce really wants to play Seton Hall. He's pissed.
Good. Everyone vote up Xavier. Vote it up.
So if you like Seton Hall, as always, Shaheen Holloway has a press that he likes to put on in the second half or once he gets down 20 points. That always tightens the game up and creates good live betting situations. I think this Xavier team, a lot like I mentioned, Marquette is a team that is going to continue to play better together as the season goes on. It's kind of a ragtag bunch. Patino didn't have a full offseason to be able to recruit everybody in this roster right now. So I think Xavier starting the season had a lot of question marks, but I mean, they played really well coming down the stretch, or at least tightly. 1 point loss after 1 point loss. Marquette, Creighton, St. John's, they were up in that game. They lost by 5 points. Nobody expected them to win versus St. John's there. They have a couple wins versus Providence and Butler. I think Xavier finds a way to keep all their games pretty tight. They're not exactly a great team, but they play to the level of their competition. And Seton Hall hasn't shown me anything of recent that says they can separate this gap. They have good defense that shows up at times, but I don't think it's going to be able to completely shut Xavier out here. I think Xavier's live all the way till the last minute of the game when free throws separates it. And I think getting a full 2.5 possessions is where it's at.
Over 22%. I'm sorry, 19.2% of Xavier's points come on the fast break. It's amongst the highest in the country. Nobody scores on the fast break against Seton Hall. Seton Hall's going to make them play half-court basketball, and they can't score. They can't set up in the half court and score on Seton Hall's defense. It's going to be the ugliest, probably going to be really, really shitty game to watch. I'm not going to bet it. Not one of you guys co-signed it. Fine. Whatever. There's 6.5s.
He said whatever.
I think Seton Hall minus 6.5 covers. That's all. All right. I'm only have one bet. I'm trying to find some good stuff. Guys aren't making any good cases.
Yo, bet Texas. I can't. The fact that you didn't bet Texas as a dog with me, it's just whatever at this point, as you would say.
Valparaiso, Spoon, go ahead. Take this one.
I've had it with Valparaiso. This is a Belmont spot. This team, this is a horseshoe team. They've had some amazing wins at home this season, and that's all they do is win at home this season. On the road, they can't do anything. Their 4 conference wins: Illinois, Chicago, Illinois State, Northern Iowa, Southern Illinois. I think 3 of those games were outright as dogs. They're dogs here again, but Belmont's probably the best team in this conference. I expect them to take care of business here on the road. I think this number is disgustingly short because of how well Valparaiso has played at home. Ken Pom makes this number 5. I think this number is fair at 5.5, 6.5. Belmont's ranked 64th in Ken Pom's rankings. Valpo's 161. In conference, Belmont hasn't struggled on the road at all. You can break it down to home away splits and see that Valpo performs so much better at home, but I just don't think there's any step down in competition for Belmont. They had a couple struggle games after they lost Nick McLean, their point guard, but that's been 7-8 games ago, and this team is playing really good basketball right now. I expect them to realize that this is a game they have to take seriously and find a way to win this game, probably by double digits.
So you think this is? You said this is the fair price 5.5, 6?
Yes, and Ken Pom makes it 5 for the projection number if you want that. This opened 4.5 everywhere. I don't think there's been any movement on it.
No. Toast, do you have any?
And you can fade me too, because I'm thinking about taking Valpo, but I'm not. I won't step in here because Spoon knows more than I do on these things. So.
Nah. Let's get to the next one. Georgetown DePaul. Does Georgetown get their revenge? They lost to DePaul.
Yeah. This is your team. You should know.
I know. I think
we're all looking toward you.
I think you fade the Blue Demons here. The fact that Georgetown's laying 4 means they're kind of already on top of it.
I don't know. I disagree. I think if you're gonna continue to give me this DePaul team at plus money at home, I'm gonna take it.
They're not at home.
I think. Oh, they're not. That's right. Damn it.
They can get a 3.5 with Georgetown right now.
There's no chance I lay it after that Providence game. There's no chance. Damn it.
Spoon, what do you think of that? There's 3.5s out there. This graphic says 4. There's 3.5s. This is a buy low on Georgetown. They've been playing pretty much. Listen, they've been playing most of their games on the road. The last time we saw them at home, they almost beat UConn. Before that, didn't they give up a 16-0 run to Seton Hall where they were winning that game the whole time?
Yeah, the second half, the back-to-back games there, DePaul and Seton Hall, they absolutely choked away both of those games.
The Creighton game too.
This team is better than this team is better than the recent results show. And DePaul, we're gonna have them go on the road. Yeah,
yeah, but 4 being a fair number, like why is 4 the number we were being offered here? I think DePaul's shown that they're a better team in conference to this point. They're 4-5. I don't like saying that out loud, but Georgetown is 2-7. I think this number is big. I fully expect Georgetown to win here. I've talked about it quite a few times. Chris Holtman's struggles on the road in conference play is well documented. I think Georgetown is still a tough building to go in and play, and I think Ed Cooley's starting to get this team playing much better. They took Creighton to overtime. That Connecticut game was 2 points. They just beat Providence. That's a huge game for him. Ed Cooley was born and raised Providence, coached there for a long time. I worry there might be some letdown there. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the team's playing this much better, or maybe it was just those spots. But now that they're coming home, I expect them to play better and DePaul to play worse. But 4 points, this seems like I should be offered a 3.
There's 3.5. There's 3.5. Man,
I'll do the 3.5 with you if you want to do it.
You guys hate all my picks tonight.
So the worst part about Georgetown is just the vividness bias of watching them just not be able to score a point in the last 5 minutes of the game. It was more than 5 minutes without a field goal to end the game. They got 3 free throws. It was disgusting. They just needed 2 points to cover. But if we can get past that vividness bias, I think Georgetown should win this game handily.
All right.
And I know Toast loves the ball.
What about let me peep the prices on the board real quick. Wait, Toast, you like DePaul here?
I'm not betting it. I'm not. You guys can deal with it.
3.5.
I'm not laying a full possession with Georgetown. I can promise you that.
Fine, let's move on. I can't find anything.
I'm not playing no beyond. No, listen.
I'm gonna have to force some NBA bets. Can't find anything I like.
Do that.
Delaware plus 12, New Mexico State minus 12. Oh, this is the one sports scientist Jacob likes, by the way. He literally sent me a DM about this game, and I will go find the DM in 1 second after I get the poll up to tell you what he said, and I will summarize it. He said Delaware is 298th, absolutely horrible. Oh, that's right. He's a Delaware alum too, so he's fading his own alumni. Yeah, New Mexico State he likes minus 10.5. I don't think that number's there anymore, is it? New Mexico State. You can get 11.5. So, Spoon, any thoughts on this game? Do you agree with the with sports scientist Jacob?
Yeah, I do. I talked to him a little bit about this game. I have New Mexico State minus 10.5, minus 120 as well. Delaware State's a pretty bad team. They've dealt with a lot of injuries this season. I think 7 different scholarship players have now missed a third of their games at different points of the season. So very difficult to completely field a roster, and it's tough to make sense of all their games, trying to figure out who's in, who's out. But New Mexico State already played this Delaware team. It was on the road, and they blew them out 97-68. That's kind of notable because New Mexico State does not play well on the road. They do play really well at home, though. They beat New Mexico by 10 points at home, 46th ranked in KenPom in the country. At home, they beat Sam Houston State, ranked 110 in the country, beat Western Kentucky. I think this is a spot where they blow out Delaware. That 10.5, I think will continue to close well. I don't think the number stops here.
Really?
Delaware's a bad team.
You don't think it stops? I'm good on that. I don't even want to watch it. Toast, you don't have any thoughts, do you?
Zero.
Let's get to a real ball club.
I do love Brett Sturgeon's comment.
Go.
Hold on. Brett Sturgeon said, was hoping to hear if TV Jones still thinks capping the NBA is a walk in the park.
Like, it's easy. TV Jones said,
Just waltz in here and take
easy.
over.
I waltzed in.
Here we go, boys.
Another day, another disrespectful number on the Frogs. Yep. I don't understand. This is a little bit worrisome because Houston is serious shit. Like, Houston's really good. But yeah, we got to go TCU, right? This team is.
Yes, there's no question about it. This number is getting blown out of the water. Houston started, I think, 5.5. I want to say.
What the hell?
I posted about this in the Discord when I was going through the games this morning. And this is like, I usually post like 4 or 5 games to look out for. And this is going to be one of them because you're going to hear everywhere you're going to hear is you're going to, just like Purdue yesterday, is this is a bounce back spot. This is a bounce back spot for Houston. They're going to cover this number. But I don't feel that way. I agree with you. I think this number is completely disrespectful. I don't know why they're taking money like this. I understand that Houston's good. I'm not trying to make a case that they're not good. And I do think they're only going to continue to get better because Kingston Flemings is him. And I will, there's no question about that. I think that kid's going to be awesome. I think this team is going to be really, really good in the tournament. But that being said, this laying 8.5 on the road, against the TCU team that has played very good against the upper echelon competitions in the country, Michigan, Kansas on the road, Arizona, BYU on the road, Utah on the road. I mean, they lost their mountain trip against Arizona, but they probably should have won that game against Kansas. I mean, they definitely should have won that game versus Michigan as well. I mean, if they win, out of those 5 losses that they have, the New Orleans loss, it is what it is. But out of those 6 losses, that I talked about, if they win 2 or 3 of those, I bet you this number is at least 4.5 and it never moves or doesn't get anywhere close to 8.5. But again, I'm not trying to make a case that Houston is a bad basketball team or overrated or anything like that. But this number is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. I know that offensively they've been there, but defensively they haven't been the same Houston. I know how well they've been graded out, but the offense is what's carried this team, not the defense so far this year. I think that TCU matches up extremely well with this team. I'll be on TCU. I haven't bet it yet because this number has continued to rise. I don't think we're going to get better than 8.5.
It got up to 9 and is now down to 8.5, then down to 8. It's coming back.
Yeah. So I was going to say, I don't think you're going to get better than 8.5.
Yeah. It looks like it's starting to come back down.
So the best number on the board is 8.5, 112 that I see right now. I think I'll join you on that. I like TCU at home. I think Jamie Dixon's a really good coach. I don't necessarily think they're completely out of this game. Houston's a really good team. So is Texas Tech, who they just lost to. But on the road, conference play in the Big 12 is very tough, and I think TCU is going to have their best punch for Houston tomorrow. They have Colorado on the road after that. So you just really get to circle in on this spot. I think this is a big one for Jamie Dixon. I think 8.5 is too much. I'm going to move on that minus 112 with you guys right now.
I forgot the biggest thing and the only thing I had circled and highlighted on my sheet. How many times has Houston even played on the road this year? 3 times?
Yeah, I was just looking at that too. Not
Max?
many.
So again, not that I'm like grading them down a whole bunch or anything like that. I'm not trying to take shots, but you put enough things together here. This number is just, again, in my opinion, just way too big.
This is only their 4th road game of the year.
Okay, I was going to say, I knew it was tiny. I just don't know the exact number.
Yeah, I bet it. I bet that 8.5. Minnesota, Wisconsin. So these 2 teams just played in the barn in Minnesota. Maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and Wisconsin won via buzzer-beating 3.
Oh, that was just beautiful. Because remember, I told
Yes.
TV Joe to start believing in John Blackwell, and he made the game-winning shot. It was beautiful, beautiful.
So, man, Wisconsin's a tough team. What a roller coaster season for the Badgers. Just when you think they're back, they're not back. So, either you guys have thoughts on Minnesota, Wisconsin in Madison?
Spoon, go ahead.
I think this number is too big. I like Minnesota here. It's not a number I bet. As you just talked about, they lost the game to this Wisconsin team that they easily could have won. And I think there's a little bit of payback here. On the road, things are always a little bit tougher, but this Wisconsin team is so up or down, and you're telling me they have to lay 8.5 points, and they're kind of a high variance team. I could see a lot of outcomes where Minnesota wins this game outright, where Minnesota loses this game on another buzzer beater, or loses it when Wisconsin ices it with free throws. And I don't see that many outcomes where Wisconsin really separates in this game and Minnesota falls out of it and it becomes a blowout. I like the Minnesota 8.5. I haven't gotten too deep into this game, but it's a spot I like.
I kind of like Wisconsin.
Yeah, I like Wisconsin too. I'm not going to bet it, so but here's I wanted to get on the train that Minnesota was good, and I still think that at home they're a team that I can trust a little bit more, but I definitely don't really trust them on the road. Not that like losing on the road to Illinois or on the road to Ohio State in overtime is some bad thing or anything like that. But my issue is that with a new coach and pretty much a new roster in the middle of Big Ten play, that could be a lot for those guys. And they're like one of the shortest teams in the country. I mean, the last time that they played against Wisconsin, I think they used, let me just double check. I think 7 guys max or something like that. And keep in mind, Wisconsin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 guys, and 1 guy played 7 minutes. So really, they used 6 guys against Wisconsin. My point to that is I just think that Minnesota's starting to get run down a little bit, and I do think that you have Wisconsin starting to play better. I know they didn't really look great against USC, but I guess that was a little bit of a down spot for them. They had been rolling at that point. Again, I don't put too much into losses like that. Again, they are losses, but I mean, if you look at the other losses for Wisconsin, it's not like their resume is terrible. They lost to BYU on the road, and as T. Jones will tell you, they can't play well in the Barney court, so you give them a little bit of credit for that. I'm joking about that. But then they lose to TCU on a neutral. They lose to Nebraska. They lose to Villanova in overtime. They lose to Purdue, and then the USC game. So even all their losses are pretty decent losses as well. I just think that they're the much better team, and do I want to lay 8.5? No, but I think it's warranted, and I think they win by double digits. But again, I'm not betting it, so it is what it is.
Well, I think the USC loss is kind of distorting perception. If you just take the USC loss out, I think most people will be like, oh, Wisconsin's about to kill them. And that one game is distorting it. Here's the thing. The fact that they're laying 8.5 means that USC loss doesn't even seem to be affecting anything.
Well, and to be fair, USC had a huge comeback. So really, Wisconsin pissed down their leg in that game.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin. I wish it was like 6.
I don't know if it's a huge comeback, but it was pretty decent.
All right, let's move on. Stanford, Miami.
Spoon, is Miami good?
I think they're all right. I think they're better than the other Miami team. I think they're also better than Stanford. Stanford coming off 2 losses to Duke in California, both at home. Now they have to fly all the way across the country. I don't think this is a great spot for Stanford. They've shown that they can beat decent teams, though, in Virginia Tech and Louisville and North Carolina. And coming off 2 losses, their value's brought down a little bit. I don't see Miami finding a way to fumble this game, but I also don't really find a way to see them covering a 8.5, 9-point spread. Stanford's shown us the ability to win those games. I think they have the ability to keep this close. At this number, I guess I'd have to be on Stanford, but I just don't like getting on West Coast teams making an East Coast trip, especially one like this, such a far distance.
Yeah, it would only be Miami for me. I don't know if they're good or not either. That's why I asked that question. But I mean, their losses are Florida, BYU, Clemson, and Florida State. The Florida State one was weird. They lost that game by 2, completely pissed down their leg. I think they were leading for like 90% of that game or whatever. But regardless, it's more for me is that I think that I started to like Stanford a little bit, and then the North Carolina game, I was like, man, am I missing something? Is Stanford really good? They're not. They have one really good player at Okafor or Okarori, or however you say his last name, excuse me, who's probably a lottery pick. But besides that, if you can shut him down, they really don't have much besides him. And for Miami, again, they continue to play well and win games in a decent conference. I mean, it's not like they're playing in like the SWAC or something. I mean, it would only be Miami for me. I'm with Spoon. I don't want to lay.
Wasn't that a pick'em in that last game versus Syracuse? I know I bet Miami in that game.
I'm not sure what the number was.
I swear that was a pick'em on the road versus Syracuse, and
I can tell you in about 2 seconds.
I know rankings-wise, Syracuse and Stanford are pretty close to each other.
They were 2.5 point favorites. I don't know if that was like the opener or the close, but sorry, that's probably the close. But yeah,
let's get to
go
ahead.
Yeah. I just feel like this number is pretty inflated. I don't know. Maybe that's respect Miami for a reason. Because
and I get it. That's why I asked you if Miami was good to start, because I wasn't going to bet it, but I was just curious to see your opinion because I really don't know.
We got quite the box office matchup here on this show specifically.
Oh, yes, we do.
Spoon is a Seattle fan. Spoon has like 8 favorite teams, but Seattle's one of them. And Toast is a Pullman native. Well, not really, but his Toast parents are season ticket holders at Pullman in Washington State.
Yep, they will be in attendance.
Your parents are going to this game?
Oh, absolutely. They're not going to mess up this chance. You got Seattle coming in here, and you know the world is going to love Seattle at plus money. Are you kidding me?
Is that true?
Go ahead, Spoon, tell them.
Is the world going to love Seattle, Spoon?
I don't know about the world. I know I love Seattle at plus money. That's obviously not a spot I'm going to pass up on the road. We've talked about how battle-tested the Seattle team is at this point in the season. Just lost a 2-point game on the road in Pacific. I think Pacific's a little bit better of a team than what Washington State is. Washington State had been on a little bit of a roll themselves, or not a roll, but a downswing. But I mean, it was against really good teams in St. Mary's, Gonzaga, San Francisco. The road loss at San Diego doesn't look that great, but I just don't think this Washington State team has anything that's going to keep Seattle out of this game. Maybe they fall down a few points, but Seattle's defense is just on another level, and I think it will create enough opportunities for their offense to win this game. To be able to get them at plus money here, I think is silly. Ken Pom makes this number 2 for Washington State, so maybe the plus 104 I have doesn't close that great, but at the same time, I think Seattle is a better team than Washington State, and I think a lot of other like minds will think that too, and I could see Seattle taking money overnight.
I've already bet Washington State minus, I think it was 120. It doesn't matter. On the money line.
But Seattle is the better team, though.
Sure. Not by this. I mean, kind of. Yeah, they're the better team. Sure.
I think Spoon's
they're the better team. They're the better team. Sure. They are. Yeah, that's fine. They have 2 road wins this year, I think. Stanford, beginning of the year, and one of the Texas teams, I think. But the schedule merchant in me is going to come out in this one for sure, because Washington State has played a significantly better schedule. And now that they're out of their gauntlet of St. Mary's, San Francisco, Gonzaga, San Diego, again, not that those teams are like world beaters, but they've also played multiple other good teams as well. My point being is that I just don't trust Seattle on the road. Defensively, yes, Seattle is a very, very good basketball team, but you also have to score points to win a basketball game. And I don't think the difference between the Seattle defense and the Washington State offense is the difference between this game, because yes, the Washington State defense isn't very good. I will give you that, but they also can rebound the shit out of the basketball. I'm just not really worried about Seattle and their defense. I think it's more worried about, can you get Seattle to score enough points, and is Washington State going to get up for this game? And I think they do. So I think that Washington State has played some very good defenses throughout this. Seattle's 27 in KenPom. They've played Gonzaga. They've played St. Mary's. They've played Loyola. They've played Seattle already. They've played USC. They've played Seton Hall. They played Washington, who's top 50 in the country in defensive efficiency. I'm not really worried about the Seattle offense. Or I'm sorry, the Seattle defense. I've already bet Washington State here.
Spoon.
I just brought it up because they held them to 55 points the first time.
Spoon.
It wasn't in the crack house.
This Seattle team hasn't won a road game since December 22nd.
Look at the road games they've had.
Pacific?
Pacific's a better team than Washington State.
Are they
Any
really?
analytical site will tell you that right now.
Dude, Pacific?
They're like a half point better. Max.
Damn, Spoon. I was trying to side with you, and I'm looking at Seattle here. They haven't won a road game since Obama was president. Like, what the hell is this? They don't win on the road. God damn, am I going to have to side with Toast on this?
My ROI with Seattle looks pretty nice this year. I'm going to keep riding this team.
I'll bet him in that little shit stadium. I'm siding with Toast. I'll bet this. Why am I betting this?
I would recommend not betting that game.
But everyone's going to be on this game. We're all going to be watching it in the group chat. Everyone's going to be
betting
betting.
Because it's later.
It's a late game, and Toast is a Washington State guy. You're a Seattle guy. We're all going to be watching this game.
So, all right.
This team hasn't won a road game in like 6 months. I'm taking the money line. All right.
I thought for sure, well, I knew you texted us, but I thought for sure you were going to be on Washington State.
No way.
See, I can't take either of you seriously because neither of you are viewing this game objectively. I had to look.
You could
What are you talking about? We're getting a Seattle team that's sitting 3-6 in conference and a pick 'em in a game that I think they should be laying 3 points. How is this?
But Spoon, the way you
objectively?
talk about Seattle, I think you would take them in a pick 'em against Houston. So, and same goes for Toast with Washington State. So yeah, I'm on
That's not true.
I'm in Washington State money line. I took. I bet this game.
Chris Victor is going to be a Power 4 coach here in the next few years.
All right, last game up, and sorry, 2 games left, and then I'll talk about NBA. San Francisco, Santa Clara. You guys were both trying to tell me how good Santa Clara was. They're laying double digits to San Francisco. San Francisco's not a bad team either.
I really want to play San Francisco so bad.
You're the one that was
bad.
You were the one that was gassing up Santa Clara.
I'm right, and I know I'm right. I'm not. That has nothing to do with it.
That wasn't gassing it up. It's just how good is Kentucky.
Yeah, well, but I also think that Santa Clara is a very good basketball team. But regardless, as far as this game specifically, 10.5's a lot. Santa Clara, I do think is very, very good. And I think that people need to understand that. But at the same time, I do think that they've also been playing some pretty bad teams. They got their Gonzaga and St. Mary's, but I would argue that San Francisco's better than San Diego, Loyola, Pepperdine, Portland, Oregon State. Again, the margins are very small, but regardless, I still think that San Francisco's better than those teams. And on the top of the fact that San Francisco on the road has played teams like Gonzaga, they played Pepperdine, they played Loyola Marymount in a two overtime game. They lost to 8 by Oregon State. They've been staying in games. They lost to 10 by St. Louis, who everybody loves St. Louis. They lost by 6 to Memphis on the road in November. Who cares? But my point being is that I'm not really worried about San Francisco on the road. They might not be winning games, but they're definitely not getting blown out. And do I think that Santa Clara has a chance to blow this team out? I really don't. So I think that San Francisco can match up well with this team. I know that Santa Clara offensively has kind of been like a juggernaut so far this year, but I think that San Francisco defense is one thing that is really not talked about. And I don't think that Santa Clara is going to get many clean looks on today, because if there's one thing that Santa Clara really relies on is playing inside. They're really inside out basketball team, and San Francisco can match up with them height wise and their guys inside. So I think that Fuchs and Wang and Cook and all those guys.
I think Fuchs got hurt in that Gonzaga game.
Did he really? Did I miss that? He did. He did. Wow. Maybe that makes sense why this number is. Yeah, it's a pass. I suck.
What San Francisco guy got hurt in the last game?
Well, it's like their best player. So
it makes it a very difficult cap, and I don't know his availability going into the next game.
I forgot about that.
KenPom makes this number 9 with no injury, so the line's not super telling that he won't be in, but I'm not really trying to get in front of Santa Clara. I know San Francisco just played great on the road versus Gonzaga, but sometimes a win like that's deflating. I think Santa Clara has the ability to run it up on just about any team in this conference, not named Gonzaga. So I'm not going to get in front of it. I really like San Francisco a lot as a team. I wanted to get there as a side, but injury information, stuff like that's probably going to keep me off it. Maybe if things change, I get more information, I'll move tomorrow. But as of now, this is a definite pass. Did we hit Tennessee, Georgia?
No, there's a couple games. There's Tennessee, Georgia. Okay. Well, the last game we have on as far as graphics is UCLA, Oregon, but also Tennessee, Georgia. There was no Pinnacle didn't open yet when I made the graphics. So, and also, I have pick graphics here for a game that I didn't have before: San Diego State, Colorado State.
Yeah, I added it late. I just want to play the under. We can talk about it at the end really quick.
All right, so let's do UCLA, Oregon, and then we'll do those 2 extra games quickly at the end. UCLA, Oregon +5. Are they still injured?
Yes. I'm going to be taking UCLA here. I think that Oregon, when we talked about going into the Washington game, which I'm just so upset about, upset that I didn't bet Washington, but I just think that they're out of gas. And I on the road, they went on the road to Washington and they got absolutely blown out. And now they come back home to a UCLA team that's probably thanking Jesus that they get a road game that's not on the East Coast right now. So I'm not really worried about UCLA on the road. The numbers aren't going to look great. I get that. But at the same time, they've played on the road at Gonzaga, on the road at Iowa, Wisconsin, Iowa State. So I don't really put too much stock into that when all those road games are on the East Coast or against Gonzaga. So take that for what it's worth. I just think that we're going to continue to see this UCLA team get better and better. Again, I'm well aware that how much I love them in the preseason, and I really am not far off of that. I think they're figuring out ways to get Donovan Dent involved. Again, the points haven't been there, but they're starting to play a little bit better. I don't know. I'm kind of obsessed with this UCLA team. You guys haven't figured out.
I think this is a good pick. This Oregon team sucks right now.
Yeah, but I do think that this is a spot where finally we can think that a UCLA can breathe a little bit and get an easy win. So I know that sounds stupid because of how they haven't really looked like that, but I do think this is a really good spot for UCLA.
They beat Northwestern by multiple possessions. They had the big win against Purdue. I mean, yeah,
all of them were at home though, so that's the only. I just wanted to point that out because I know people will say something.
They beat Penn State by double digits on the. I think you're on the right. I think this is the right pick here. There's a minus 4.5.
That's
what do you think?
I like UCLA here as well.
Let's do it.
Mick Cronin came out after that Purdue game and was complaining about the scheduling, but he forgot to mention that he has a gravy schedule coming up. Had Purdue at home, Northwestern at home. He has to travel to Oregon, which is not a bad travel spot at all. Then stays home for Indiana, Rutgers, and Washington. So doesn't really leave the West Coast at all for 2.5 weeks there. I think this is a nice little spot to be able to get in on UCLA, maybe not just once, but a few times here. There's a reason that Toast liked this team a lot coming into the season, and it hasn't been the best season for him. So that creates opportunity to buy him at a cheaper price. I think Oregon is bad. 4.5. I'll bet it with you guys.
Let's do it. I like it. There's a 3.5 on Kalshi, but it's like minus 140. So
I don't.
Damn, I might be trading. I bet 140 all day. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how much money I have in my account.
All right, I'll take. Let's do it. UCLA Bruins up. So then the 2 games that we wanted to do last before I do NBA. First one, Tennessee, Georgia, which is honestly a huge one. I would actually love to bet this game. So let me go get the poll up so we know what we're dealing with here. Also, Florida.
Did you bet this, Spoon?
What's that?
Tennessee, Georgia.
UCLA? Yeah, Tennessee moneyline 120.
Oh, okay. You actually bet this game, Spoon.
So did I.
Oh shit! All right. Let's dig in.
You got the 2.5 on the other side.
Yeah.
Hold on. So Spoon, you took Tennessee money line at plus 120.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a juiced minus 1.5, Spoon. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm down. This is a great game. We got to talk about this game. So we're going Georgia, Tennessee. This game is in Athens, and Georgia is a short favorite here. Total 159.5, which is pretty standard for Georgia Bulldog games because that team runs a billion miles an hour. All right, Spoon. So you're on Tennessee money line.
Yeah, Tennessee money line plus 120 on the road. I think Rick Barnes is a better coach than what Mike White is. I think this is a better Tennessee team than this Georgia team is. I think that we're getting a plus money situation only because of the road atmosphere. I feel like we'd be having to lay north of 5 with Tennessee at home. This is a Tennessee team that I just have a lot more respect for. Georgia coming off a loss to Texas. Tosa's just got done telling us how undervalued Texas is, so that's a pretty good loss there. I don't see any reason that Tennessee shouldn't be able to win this game at least half of the time, if not more than that, and to be able to get plus 120 on this, I'm not going to pass that up.
I think I'm going to take a plus 2.5 with Spoon. Well, same side as Spoon. I don't know why Pinnacle isn't open yet. Is there a lingering injury that either of you guys happen to be aware of?
No, so this game has been postponed.
Right,
so
right.
It'll get mixed up in some of their line, the way things.
Probably going to be a write-in game or whatever.
No, it's on the main board. It's got a 751, 752. It's got a number.
Interesting. Yeah, I bet Georgia already minus 1.5, minus 120. First and foremost, I don't think Tennessee's good at all. That's just me. That's a personal opinion. I think that they have.
But what about the schedule merchant in you?
I think they have a couple very, very lucky wins that make it look a lot better. Yes, they've played a much better schedule than Georgia. There's no question about that because Georgia played absolutely nobody in the non-con. But I do think that Georgia's kind of pushed that schedule merchant to the side, I guess, in a way, because I've been really impressed with what they've done. I mean, losing on the road to Florida doesn't really move the needle for me. Losing on a neutral to Clemson on a neutral, doesn't really move the needle for me. Losing in overtime to Mississippi doesn't look great, but again, it's an overtime game. It's a coin flip game. And then the Texas game, like I said, Texas is a really good basketball team nobody talks about. So, and Spoon said that. Like, I'm not worried about what I've seen from Georgia lately. I was concerned coming into conference play. And yes, you could definitely say the Auburn game was a little bit lucky, but regardless, they stuck with that game. And if I know I'm fading Auburn tomorrow, but Auburn's a pretty damn good basketball team as well. As far as Tennessee goes, again, like I said, I think that yes, they have a really good record, but the game against Houston and the game against Texas A&M, both those games are coin flips. I think that if they lose one of those games, this number might be Georgia minus 3.5, minus 4. It might get there. I don't know, but I just really haven't been impressed. And yes, I will. When I say something that I'm about to say, as far as Tennessee stepping up in class, I will give you that you can make an argument about it as far as who they've played and who they haven't played. But when Tennessee has stepped up in class, I just really haven't trusted them. Again, the Houston and Texas A&M games were coin flips, but there's no brownie points in beating Louisville, guys. We've talked about this over and over again. Yes, I fell for the soup against Duke. I suck. But regardless, we all know, at least especially now, Louisville sucks. So I don't really put too much into that game. I just think that Georgia's the better team. I think Tennessee's overrated. I think Tennessee's on name value right now. I think Georgia's on the rise. Give me the Bulldogs. Let's go, Andy.
So it looks like Circa opened this one 1.5. It immediately took Georgia money because Circa's at 2.5 now. So it looks like the initial action did come in on the Georgia side. I just feel like there's no way this. I think this comes back down before tip. I'll put up Tennessee. I'll put Spoon, but
this should close at pick'em.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I think.
No way.
Tennessee's better than Georgia.
You don't think it closed at pick'em? Why'd you bet a 1.5?
Because I think it's going to close at 3.
Yeah, he's saying it's going to close higher than that.
That's why. I mean, I don't think that's going to be a pick. I don't think at all. I think if you're getting in Tennessee, you can still wait and probably get a better number tomorrow.
Toast, if you think
I truly believe that.
If you think it closes at 3, that basically you're coming out and saying that you think Georgia is a better team than Tennessee, and I think that's great.
I do.
Yeah, no.
So you don't like Tennessee's win versus Texas because Texas wasn't good at that point. You said so that one doesn't count, and A&M that doesn't no credence there, and you don't like Alabama because that's an Alabama loss. You only like Alabama after the loss. So none of those are respectable wins. I just think
what's the point here? I said Texas is good. Texas A&M and Houston were both coin flip games. They won. Congratulations. Louisville fucking sucks. We all know that. Alabama absolutely.
You can't get lucky versus Houston's defense and win a game.
What are we talking about?
All right.
You can't get lucky versus Houston's defense and win a game. There's no horseshoes involved with that.
No horseshoes. I did it, Spoon. I'm with you. I got a plus 127. It was a trade. So,
ooh.
All right. And
Georgia sucks.
I just recently won a bet on Georgia, and I felt like, actually they did make some plays at the end to win that. What am I talking about? Scratch what I was about to say.
And Tennessee's good? Is that what we're arguing?
I think
no, Georgia sucks.
But they're still laying 2.5 now.
Yeah, which is too many.
Plus 120 with a game they're going to win more than half the time.
Yeah,
makes sense.
I like that. I'm with you. 127. I'm with you, Spoon. I'll watch that game too. 7 p.m. I'll be on. So Toast, you have this last one before we do NBA. Before I do NBA.
Oh yeah, Colorado State. It's just an under here. Both of these teams, Colorado State and San Diego State. I know that San Diego State has ran a little bit of faster pace, but usually when these two teams play, it's an absolute gauntlet. Both of these teams have played a lot of weird games as far as, especially Colorado State. I don't really know what to think of this team. I don't think they're good at all, but sometimes they just ended up play close games, and I don't know. But I think this is like a kind of like a rock fight. I think that this number is a little bit high or a little bit low for a reason. I think most of these numbers, KenPom has this game 77-68. So I just think that this game is going to be a rock fight. I think Colorado State's going to be able to slow this game down a little bit. San Diego State is riding high, especially after that nice UNLV win and a Grand Canyon loss. But I think this is a little bit of a kind of a sleepy spot for them coming home against Colorado State. So I played under 139.5.
All right, gentlemen, enjoy your night. I'm going to talk some NBA.
See you guys for the 10.
Yeah, that's going to be 7 p.m. tip. All right. I have one NBA bet and then 2 or 3 others that I kind of like. I only placed one NBA bet last night. It did win, though. Sixers minus 9.5 was the only NBA bet I placed last night. I don't really feel too strongly about the NBA right now. I don't think I'm operating with too much of an edge. The reason I'm still up on the year with NBA bets is I've been very selective. So until I feel more confident, I'm just going to keep operating that way. And this first game, not a game I have a bet on. I think the way to go would be over here. So both these teams seem to be trending in the right direction. Lakers 4-1 straight up, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. Don't tell me my graphics are out of order again. Why does it keep doing that? Let me go check this out. Why would these be out of order again? All right, let me try something. I'm going to try one thing, and if it doesn't work, we're just rocking with out of order graphics. Second day in a row it did that. Yeah, it's out of order again. Great. So we thought there was a chance Austin Reeves might be back for this one. He has been ruled out, but he's coming back soon. Really would come in clutch for this one. Lakers offense considerably better when he's been on the floor this year. They're 15-8, 118 offensive rating. He also, in this matchup in particular, he stretches the floor out, attempts 7.5 3-point shots a game, which against Cleveland is clutch. But here's the thing with Cleveland, there's no Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley's been ruled out of this game, and Cleveland's defensive rating with and without Evan Mobley goes from a 113-2, which is very, very strong, to a 118, which is not strong at all. Now, it's only a 6-game sample, so maybe we don't read too much into this, but the Cavs defense without Evan Mobley, not very good, or at least it hasn't been very good. Now, they might be getting DeAndre Hunter, Sam Merrill, a couple guys that have been banged up. Not sure on them. They might be getting those guys back. But without Evan Mobley, I think the Lakers should be able to attack the paint in this one. Oh, another thing with the Evan Mobley graphic. Look at the pace without Evan Mobley. Over 104 possessions per game in the 6 games they play without Mobley. So the way I feel about this game is I just don't know where the stops are coming from. I don't think the Cavs defense is very good without Evan Mobley. The Lakers, we know they can score. What we think about the Lakers is that we don't trust their defense. We know they could score. So I think the Lakers can score on the interior. Do we trust the Lakers to make stops? They actually have played good defense in their last 5. Jackson Hayes is back, giving them some minutes. So they are trending in the right direction. They haven't really played. What's the best offense out of this? The Clippers, maybe the Bulls. They haven't really played. They haven't really been through the gauntlet here in terms of the offenses they've seen. So the way I would go, I personally think the Lakers are going to win this game. So I think plus 3.5, plus 4. Yeah, I think you actually go Lakers. But my pick for the game would be over. There was a 233.5 before. Wow, I guess there's not there anymore. It's mostly 235s now. So I guess I should have grabbed that. Yeah, I just don't know where the stops are coming from in this one. And Cleveland's been really fast-paced in the games we've seen without Evan Mobley. So I would go over on this one. And like I said, I kind of think the Lakers are going to steal this one if you're looking to play a side. I bet the Pacers here. This is the one I bet. I know. How could I bet the Pacers? The Bulls are playing well. They are playing well. Let's give some credit to the Bulls. I have a couple of the NBA picks I like are really ugly ones too. This is one of them, Pacers. There's another game where everyone's going to be on the other side, and I kind of like. So, all right. The Bulls have been playing well. Josh Giddey's back. The offense seems to be coming around. They're 6-3 straight up and against the spread in their last 9. Offensive rating over 121. Here's the thing. I trust this Pacers defense. I know the last handful of games, the Pacers defense hasn't really played that well. They played the Pistons, the Sixers, the Celtics, the Thunder, the Hawks. Played a tough schedule here. So even though the Pacers defense as a whole hasn't been great in the last 5 games, they played a really tough schedule. And for most of the season, they've actually been a pretty strong defense. And specifically where they're strong. Oh, there's my Cavs graphic. Why is it back here? But it's specifically where they're strong is on the perimeter. And the Bulls in this recent offensive surge, they've become 3-point reliant. That is not the Bulls offense we saw earlier in the season. And I just don't think it's going to be there against this Pacers defense. Pacers have played the Bulls tough. They actually beat the Bulls twice already this year. I think they can play good defense in this one. The problem with the Pacers has been they just can't score. Can't trust this Pacers offense. Well, they're healthier now. Matherin's back. There's still no Halliburton, obviously. He's out indefinitely, and Obi Toppin is still out. But look at this recent schedule from the Pacers. So you got Matherin back, who certainly helps on the offensive end. Look at the recent schedule. 5 road games against Pistons, elite defense, maybe best defense in the NBA. Sixers have been a top 10 defense all year. Celtics, elite defense, or top 10 defense, we'll call them. Oklahoma City, elite defense. And the Hawks are dramatically improved defense. This team just played 5 road games in a row, all against good defenses. Now they're at home against the Bulls, not a good defense at all. And Indiana's done well against these fast-paced teams. This should be a really fast-paced game, by the way, back-and-forth game. Their last 5 games against fast-paced opponents, they're 3-2, 4-1 against the spread. The offense had looked pretty good in those games. And like I said, we've seen the Pacers beat the Bulls twice. And this was back in late November, early in December, when the Pacers were terrible. And the Bulls were actually playing pretty well. Now the Pacers are kind of improved. Yeah, we're polling. Really? Everyone's taking Pacers in the poll? I love it. I didn't realize that people were going to be agreeing with me on this one. Yeah, I think the way these two teams are playing right now, I think this game should be about a pick. So at +2, you can get a +2.5 right now. I am on the Pacers. Hawks, Celtics. Let's go. I like people in the comments on the Pacers with me. I don't know what sports scientist Jacob is talking about in his comment. He said I got -108. Oh, 234. He's talking about the over, I think, from before. Okay. Hawks, Celtics. So these two teams just played on January 17th. So we're talking 10, 11 days ago. It was a beatdown. Boston won that game 132-106. Celtics dominated both ends of the floor. Now, Dyson Daniels didn't play in this game, which is huge because, he may not be the most important piece offensively, but he's certainly an important piece of the Hawks defense. And that's kind of the identity of Hawks now. They're a defense-first basketball team, as crazy as that sounds. So we saw these two teams play about 10, 11 days ago. Jaylen Brown had 41 points. No Dyson Daniels. Porzingis and Risache both didn't play either, but they're still out. So no changes there. I think we've seen enough of this new-look Hawks team to count on this defense. So this is since the Trae Young trade. Now, Trae Young wasn't playing before this anyway, but if you look at the last, how many games are on here? 10? Look at the last 10 games. Yeah, we saw a 3-game winning streak, 4-game losing streak, 3-game winning streak. So in terms of results, a little bit of a roller coaster, but look at the defensive rating. I think we can count on this defense. This team plays good defense now with Daniels and Alexander Walker in the backcourt. You'd like to see Porzingis out there protecting the basket, but this is a defense I trust right now. And there's a couple really nice wins, by the way. See Memphis and Phoenix, they won 3 in a row. A road game at Memphis and then a home game against the Suns. The Suns were completely healthy, rested. Both were fourth quarter comebacks. So there's no quit in this team, man. I like the way this Hawks team is put together. And they've played so I'm putting out here that they've been playing pretty good defense consistently, but look specifically at their games against good offenses. Their last 5 games against, I believe this is top 10 offenses, they're 3-2 straight up, 3-2 against the spread with a defensive rating of 110. So not only are they playing good defense, they're playing good defense when they step up in competition too. This is the Celtics, the Lakers, the Nuggets. Well, the Nuggets probably aren't a top 10 offense. They're just registering as one on their full season numbers. The Knicks, great offense. The Timberwolves, great offense. They're playing good defense even against good offenses like the Celtics. So I think the Hawks can play some defense in this game. It's going to be interesting to see who controls the pace, though. Hawks, one of the fastest paced teams in the NBA. Celtics, one of the slowest paced teams in the NBA. And we've seen how the Celtics handle these games. This is their last 5 games. They're fast-paced opponents. A 123-8 offensive rating. They're 4-1 straight up, 4-1 against the spread. They slow the game down. They force these fast-paced teams to play half-court basketball, which is not what they want to do. So I'm not sure if I trust the Hawks to score here in these half-court opportunities. But I do think the totals may be a little bit high. I wrote down I lean towards the Hawks at 7.5. It's come down. It's now 6.5. So nothing on the side. I had to lean towards the Hawks at 7.5. I do think that. Oh, the total came down too? Man, it was 232 before. Oh, you can still get a 231.5. So my pick for this game, this is not one of the ones I bet, but it would be under 231.5. I think the Celtics intentionally slow this game down, and I think the Hawks will really struggle to score points. But I do think the Hawks are improved defensively and are able to put up a fight on that side. So under here. Orlando, Miami. So I kind of think, I know this is crazy to even say the way this team has looked, but I kind of think this is a nice little get-right spot for Orlando. There's some moving pieces as far as the Miami Heat injury report. So Orlando's just looked really bad in their last 4 games. can't catch a break, this team. They finally get Franz Wagner back over in Berlin, and then he immediately experiences ankle soreness, and he's back out again. So Wagner's out again. And in the last 4 games without Wagner, they're 0-4, 0-4 against the spread. I believe all 4 of these games were double-digit losses, too. So Orlando's looked terrible in their last few games. The on and off splits with the on and off record here with or without Franz Wagner, it's pretty telling. They're significantly worse offensively. They're significantly worse defensively. They're just 8-11. Well, actually, 8-11 is not even that bad. They've actually figured out a way to win some games without him, but 5-14 against the spread. So betting the Magic without Franz Wagner has been a suicide mission. But here's the thing, man, this Heat team, you've got, so first of all, Suggs is back for the Magic, and he's been back for, I think, 3 games now. His minutes are climbing. It was like 18 minutes, then 21 minutes, then 27 minutes. So we should see Suggs just about back in the full rotation here. And he's a big difference maker for the Magic. So there's still no Franz Wagner, but Suggs is back. And we might even see Suggs get a full workload here, which is huge. This Miami team, Davion Mitchell, we're not sure if he's going to be back. He's been out. He's listed as questionable. Norman Powell is listed as questionable. Khalil Ware is listed as questionable. This Miami team is banged up. There's still no Tyler Hero. I'm not sure. I'm not suggesting that Miami's better without Tyler Hero. They certainly have been better this year without him. They're actually 24-12 against the spread without Tyler Hero. So betting on the Heat without Tyler Hero has been very lucrative. Again, I'm not saying they're better without him. I'm just saying Tyler Hero being out right now doesn't exactly move the needle. If the Heat are going to be missing some of those pieces, if Mitchell isn't back, if Norman Powell doesn't play, I think this is a really nice spot for the Magic to get right and get a win against their rival. I think it's a buy low. They've had just a few stinkers in a row, and it's kind of like, oh, the Magic are absolutely terrible. But we know they're not terrible, especially if Suggs is going to be playing 30 minutes. So I really think this is a perfect matchup for the Magic to show up and remind everybody that they're not that bad. I don't think the Heat are very good right now, but I don't want to be sitting on an Orlando ticket and then find out that where Davion Mitchell's coming back and Norman Powell's going to play. I think Norman Powell's going to play, by the way. He's been listed as questionable. He's been playing through it, but I don't want to be sitting on a Magic ticket and then all those Miami Heat questionables end up playing. So if Ware and Mitchell are out, are both still out, I think the Magic get this win, and I think plus 3 is a decent bet, but I don't have it. Oh, S-Dot's in the comments. Sorry, bro. Think you're going to lose to your rivals here. New York Knicks. Okay, so you might be wondering, why are the New York Knicks catching points from the Toronto Raptors? Well, for starters, the Raptors are pretty damn good. And they're healthy. So RJ Barrett is now back. Who else was out? Jacoby Walter was banged up. He is now, actually, let me confirm that. I'm pretty sure Jacoby Walter is back, but I don't want to misspeak. Let me just make sure he's back. Jacoby Walter. Yes, Jacoby Walter came back last game. So RJ Barrett's back. Jacoby Walter is now back. He's been back for a game. Murray Boyles might even be back, who's been huge for them. So not only the Raptors been playing well, but they're also getting healthier as the season progresses. And this is a Raptors team that's on a little bit of a heater right now. 4-0 straight up in their last 4-0 against the spread. All four of these games on the West Coast. They've actually had 3 full days off. They just finished up their West Coast road trip. So the Raptors are coming into this one with a little bit of momentum, 4 wins in a row. 3 days rest before this one. And the Knicks have struggled in this spot. They're 1-4 straight up, 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 second leg of the back-to-backs. 122.9 defensive rating. So the Knicks have struggled in these back-to-backs. So that's why the Raptors are laying here. This is where I think maybe we're taking it a little too far by having the Raptors laying in this one. Since Josh Hart has been back, the Knicks are playing some defense here. A 109.4 defensive rating. And this is not including the game tonight, by the way. This graphic was made before the game against Sacramento tonight. So there's now been 8 games since Josh Hart has been back. The Knicks have played great defense in all of them. And tonight they held the Sacramento Kings. Now, granted, it's the Kings. but they held the Kings to 36 points in the second half tonight. So I think the Knicks' main problem was you couldn't trust the defense at all. They're playing some defense right now. So I think maybe having the Raptors laying is a little bit of an overreaction here. It is tough to ignore this, though. I mean, the Raptors with RJ Barrett, they're like the 4 seed. This is crazy. Look at this. So in the 25 games the Raptors have played with RJ Barrett, they're 18-7, an offensive rating up close to 118, a defensive rating down under 112. The Raptors have been elite in the games RJ Barrett has played. Now, I don't know how much we take away from this. It's at least interesting enough to take a look at. Here's the kicker. And you guys might think I'm being a little nitpicky here. I think this is interesting. So what is true about these two teams? Both slow paced. Both are bottom 10 in pace. The Knicks are actually bottom 5 in pace. The Raptors are around the same. So these are two slow paced teams. One, I like that for the Knicks on a back-to-back. They're not playing a team that's going to make them run up and down the floor for 48 minutes. They're playing the Raptors. Should see a slow-paced game. Check this out. The Knicks have been awesome in these slow-paced games. In their last 10 games against slow-paced opponents, the Knicks are 8-2 straight up, 8-2 against the spread. Meanwhile, the Raptors, their strength is slowing down fast-paced teams. They're 2-8, straight up 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games against slow-paced opponents. So the fact that this is going to be a slow-paced game maybe gives the Knicks a little bit of, I don't want to say advantage, but maybe not exactly the game type that would throw the Knicks off being on a back-to-back. The way the Knicks are built, there's not many teams, and we're moving into my personal opinion now. In my opinion, I don't think there's many teams that can beat New York in a half-court basketball game. If you're going to let Mitchell Robinson set up under the basket, if you're going to play half-court basketball, let the Knicks defense set up. If you're going to let the Knicks set up their offense, let Jalen Brunson get a high screen and set things up, there's not many teams that I would take to beat New York in that kind of basketball game. Now, there are teams that could turn it, force the game into different styles, and they could beat the Knicks. But in that type of basketball game, there's not many teams I would take to beat New York. And the way the Raptors play, I just don't necessarily think they're equipped to exploit the Knicks being on a back-to-back here. I think the Knicks are playing with some confidence, and I completely understand why the Raptors are favored, but I think this is a little bit of an overreaction to the spot. I still think this should be about a pick, and to give me 2 points, if I get a +3, I'll do it. I think it's New York here. Where's my Knicks graphics? There we go. Put New York +2 up. Charlotte, Memphis. How about those Hornets? I love this Hornets team, man. Who doesn't? The Hornets are, I feel like, you remember Oklahoma City like 3 years ago? Where like they're the new good team and everyone was rooting for them. Now like everyone's sick of OKC. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but now OKC has become the team to beat and just a little bit of a different role. I feel like Charlotte is now the team. Who doesn't love to see Charlotte on a heater, man? This team's cool. They're playing well on both ends of the ball. Charlotte's one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. They're in great shape injury-wise, by the way. Still no Mason Plumlee. Other than that, they're completely good to go. Kalkbrenner was banged up. He is now back. Diabate was a little bit banged up. He is now back. So injury-wise, Grant Williams is back from a long-term injury. So injury-wise, Charlotte's in great shape here. Like I said, they're an absolute wagon right now. They're 6-4 straight up in their last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 4-1 straight up in their last 5. Memphis going through a little bit of a skid. So as far as who's been playing better the last handful of games, no question, Charlotte. No Ja Morant. I'm not sure. Okay. This might be another one that looks a little bit nitpicky. I think it's a good point, though. Hear me out. So, what do you notice about this graphic? So, the Memphis Grizzlies with and without Ja Morant this year. Now, as far as the efficiency numbers, offense and defense, really nothing crazy. The offense is slightly better with him, but the defense is slightly better without him. So, in terms of just raw efficiency, the Memphis is pretty much the same with and without Ja Morant right now. So, In fact, in terms of against the spread, it indicates that he's been the absence of Ja Morant is being exaggerated in the market because they're actually more profitable to bet without Ja Morant. But I don't care about that. What am I looking at? Look at the pace. With Ja Morant, over 100 possessions a game. Without Ja Morant, 97-7. So why am I bringing that up? Well, that's not what you want to see if you're betting Charlotte. You do not want to see a slow-paced game because that is when they struggled. Their last 10 games against fast-paced teams, they're 7-3 straight up, 7-3 against the spread. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games against slow-paced teams. Now, the Grizzlies themselves are not a slow-paced team, but without Ja Morant, they slow it down dramatically. Maybe that's nitpicky. I think that's interesting. You look at the pace here, 97-7 without Morant. Then you look at this. I think that's interesting. That's all I'll say. Now, it's kind of tough to fade the Hornets right now, especially with this. They're 3-10 in their last 13 games, 4-9 against the spread. I told you I had some ugly ones tonight. I kind of like Memphis, man. I kind of like Memphis. I know. I told you I had some really ugly-looking picks tonight. This is one. This is probably the other bet that I'm considering placing is Memphis here. It's disgusting. I know. No one's going to like this one. All right. Minnesota, Dallas. I just glanced at the comments. It's S. Grizzlies pick is disgusting. Oh, I know. There's some people that like, see, I love it too. Yes, there's some people that like those nasty picks. All right, Minnesota, Dallas. I didn't spend a ton of time on this one, so Anthony Edwards is questionable. Let's see if there's an update on that. No, he's questionable still. Anthony Edwards is questionable. Minnesota, we've only seen 10 games without Edwards, but Minnesota's actually been pretty good in those games. They're 6-4 straight up with a 108.3 defensive rating and minus 3.5% over expected. So not only has the defense been better without Anthony Edwards, but it's actually been much better without Anthony Edwards. Now, it's only a 10-game sample. Maybe who gives a shit, but I thought that was interesting enough to include that Minnesota in the games without Anthony Edwards has been like elite defensively. There's Cooper Flag questionable on the other side. Like I said, I didn't spend a ton of time on this game. We know Dallas, if you want to back Dallas at home, not on the road, 10-3 straight up, 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 at home. Yeah. I don't have a ton of interest in this one, if we're being honest. So, wow, 58% of the poll is on the Mavs. You guys like Dallas? I mean, I guess I understand if Dallas at home. I just took Dallas at home against Golden State, and they came through for me. The problem is, I just don't know. I feel like I have no feel for that Dallas team at all. +7's a big number. Minnesota's kind of a wagon, though. All right, I didn't include the Golden State-Utah game. Last one we're going to talk about is San Antonio-Houston, and I personally didn't look at this one yet. Sports scientist Jacob, though, loves the Spurs. It was the pick he sent to me privately. He sent me a whole write-up for it. So I don't have any graphics or anything, but I'm going to put the poll up, and I'm going to take a look at what he sent me. He said I think he got Spurs +3.5 and money line is what he got. You can still get +3 right now. So Rockets are on the first leg of a back-to-back. They have to travel to play Atlanta straight after the game. Okay, yes, but so I'm reacting to what sports scientist Jacob said. He said Rockets are on the first leg of a back-to-back. They have to travel to play Atlanta. This game against the Spurs is going to be more important than a game against Atlanta, but it is something. The Rockets came back to beat the Spurs last week. They were significantly better. Yeah, I guess. The Spurs don't have another game until Saturday at Charlotte. Rockets are 2-9 against the spread in their last 11 as a favorite. That's interesting. Classic revenge spot. I don't know. Let me see an injury report. Like I said, I didn't look at this one. This is where I got cut off. Spurs are at full strength. The way I would go with this one, honestly, let me type in, I'd like to see some recent pace numbers because the Spurs are perceived to be a great offense. and they really weren't for a while. But Vassell is back now. I don't think the Spurs offense is as good as people think, but I love that defense. And I kind of feel the same way. Yeah, this is under. 220.5 kind of makes me think they're on top of it. But the Spurs offense is not as good as people think. Their defense is elite, but the Spurs offense is not as good as people think. And I kind of feel the same way about Houston. I love the Rockets defense. Don't trust their offense. Both of these teams have been running slow paces recently. Yeah, give me an under. That was just, like I said, I didn't do like a deep dive or anything on that one, but give me an under. Don't fall for the soup. Everyone, thanks for watching as always. I think I'm going to bet the Grizzlies. My question for Memphis is there any reason to bet that now? Like, do we really think we're going to see Grizzlies money? It's such a nasty one that, like, I don't even think sharps are going to like it. I think it's just us. The two that Grizzlies, I wish I can get +3. Knicks, if I could get +3. There's +3s available for Orlando. Yeah, I like some ugly ones. All right, cool. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Yeah, see you all tomorrow. Same time. Be sure to bet responsibly.